Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU and welcome back to Roving Clans and their playthrough slash tutorial. I was planning to take a day off today in all actuality, but I actually was thinking really hard about what I want to do next with my empire, and I just cannot resist myself. I kinda want to play this game. I think I am officially addicted. I mean, I knew I'm addicted before, but now I'm even addicted to making videos of this game, which is slightly worrying, but whatever, we are going to deal with this. So, I have thought about this and there are several things we need to discuss. So first things first, this newly conquered city, right? What about it? Well, right now I cannot move it unfortunately because it is not at 100% ownership, which is only when I will actually be able to pack things up and move it to a better spot. So I'm going to just let it make divisions in Kasai, and when that happens, when I have 100% ownership, I'm going to pick this city up and move it. Where am I going to move it? Depends on how many units I will have. No, on how many population I will have by this point. If I will have only a very little population gain up until then I'm going to move the city right over here. This town is amazing because it is surrounded by a ton of food, and since this city has a lot of production and most of its structures are already pre-constructed, all I need really right now is more population. This town would give me just that. I mean, look at it. It's surrounded by 2 3-foot towns, plenty of 2 towns and some 1 towns. Yeah, it's a really nice spot. There may be a better spot somewhere around here, but I took a quick look and it looks like this area is the best. Of course, once we get the fits counter implemented in the game, it will be much easier to tell. But right now I think this is a really nice spot. You have to keep in mind, of course, that whenever you settle a city, you lose 1 foot tile on the tile where you settled the main city. Alright, so this is what I'll do with the city. If, however, it has enough population to move it out of this region, I'll probably do so after scouting around those 2 regions right here, because they may be more important. In particular, I'm looking at Samoa, no, not Samoa, I'm looking at this region, what it's called Yulin, because it has a really nice combination of anomalies. As you can see, there is the botanical garden and the stasis pillar right next to each other on a river. So this area gives me a lot of happiness, gives me a lot of food because of the river and the nearby sea, but it also gives me dust, which is nice, and production science, especially once I start to venture out with some districts and borough streets, which will be quite nice for a region. It is not that good for early production and science, but again, production I don't need to be worried about with right. As for science, I do gain some from those anomalies and from this bit of rocky field, and I intend to improve it further as we go along. Also, I can create a center for seas and rivers, this improvement right here, if I need to, which will again give me even more science from those towns right here if I need this science, but I expect I will not. Alright, now what else do I want to do? I want to use my wine booster because I will still need to have some extra happiness, and this happiness will allow me to jumpstart my empire to quite a very nice location. I mean, the way I look at it right now is I'm actually doing fairly okay on wine. In all actuality, especially once this empire, once this city rather, is under my full control, yeah, I'll be fairly okay in terms of happiness, and I may not actually need to activate this wine, but either way I do want to have more wine, just because even if I don't use it, I can sell it for a very good amount of money on the marketplace, which is why I also want to complete this quest quite badly for 15 extra wine, which is quite invaluable as you might guess. So in order to do this quest, I will need some reinforcements, however, so I'll go ahead and move my army back a little bit, make sure that it is not going to be attacked by those undead, which would not kill my army, but they would be fairly close to that, I'm afraid. What else? Well, I cannot put this army inside of my city for some reason, which is kinda weird. I should be able to, but apparently I cannot. Well, whatever, that doesn't matter too much. What else do I want to do with my cities? Do I want to create any borough streets? Amusingly enough, the answer is no, I do not. What borough streets give me? Borough streets give me several things. They give me extra prestige, or rather influence. They also give me extra dust, and they give me extra science. Also, once you have a very nice triangle of them, they also give you extra happiness. However, before that happens, they also drain your happiness by quite a bit. So yeah, the way I see it, those districts can be only used for me right now to give me a little bit of extra dust and science boost and influence boost, because I do not have enough population to actually create an efficient triangle. 5 population is not enough to create a triangle, even for necrophages who need far less population to actually create a new district. I am not a necrophage, I need a lot of population to create an efficient triangle, So I'm now nowhere near to be able to complete an efficient triangle and have a good use of the Zbora streets. I could still make them and gain a little bit of extra science, dust and influence, true. However, I intend not to do so. Why? It's very simple. Those Zbora streets, the cheapest one costs 150 production. Once it is completed, all the next ones are going to cost even more so. Meanwhile, my units cost 60 production each, and for each of those units, as I discussed before, I will gain 100 something dust. So, the way I see it, those units are a much more effective way of generating dust, and while it's true that I will not be able to generate any science or influence this way, I will not weep too much. I can play as the guy that doesn't have the most modern of technologies, but it is actually fun for Roving Clans, because Era 2 is really where it's at, and while it's nice to be in later eras as well, I will not cry or weep being in Era 2 for far longer than some other factions. It is really just going to be fine, as long as I can become this dust merchant powerhouse that can just sell your units to the slave market at incredible, uncountable quantities for all the time and just amass as much dust as possible. This would be nice, won't it? So that's exactly what I'm shooting for. I don't need those bar streets. Once I have more population, enough population to create efficient triangles, I'll think about it. When that happens, I might actually be able to speed up the construction with the use of the industrial storage, so that the production of those districts will be as quick as possible and will not drain my happiness by too much, which is again something I need to think about, because I also do intend to attack the enemy and conquer the enemy, which will mean that I'll have more cities, which will also mean that I'll have more unhappiness. So the enemy is moving in slightly, but I can... no, it's not too late. I was able to move in, but no, the enemy still attacked me, but they only attacked my hero and my units are now reinforcements. Alright. It's strange. Usually I do not see a neutral army venture this far away from its home region, but apparently it did happen this time around. Do I care about this hero enough to actually... I'm just gonna go to auto battle and see how it goes. I'm afraid, however, that I'll take some significant losses, because the way AI calculates things is that if you have reinforcements, they are supposed to be weaker for some reason. So let's go to ready to fight, and I lost a dervish. And a hero as well? Right, because this is actually... I want to say it's a bug, but the way I was talking with the developers the other day, I have a feeling it might be... maybe a bug, but a bug that is not going to go away, if you know what I'm trying to say, which is very annoying, and I hope it is going to be changed. So basically the way it works, heroes have the ability called Last Stand, which is supposed to make it so that they are unkillable unless you lose a battle. However, as you can see, I right now won a battle, and I still lost my hero, which is probably as a result of this hero going down to 0 health. But then Last Stand is supposed to kick in and make this hero not die out. However, if you remember, in the olden days, in the old days of Endless Legends, you were unable to have a hero separate from your army, so you couldn't have your hero wander around alone. And back in those days, no matter what happened, your hero would die if that hero would be left alone. Right now it's of course not the case, but there's still some of this code lingering in the game, so whenever you lose your hero, win a battle, but do not have your hero attached to any army, then you lose your hero regardless, despite the fact that you have the last stand ability. And the thing I'm worried about is that this might not go away, this might stay in the game for quite some time. I do hope that it will be fixed eventually, but I don't know, just the way I talk to the devs, I'm a bit worried. It is certainly not on the top of their priority list, and I'm just worried how high it is, if it is high at all. And up until this is fixed, if it is going to be fixed, you have to keep in mind that if your hero is alone and without an army and you fight, you're going to have him disabled. However, I consider this to be very cheap, so what I'm going to do is just reload this autosave, because this is just BS in my eyes. It is not supposed to be the case, and I don't think this is how this game is supposed to work. So I'll just be right back with you and I'll reload. Usually I never reload, I never save cheat or however you want to call it, but right now it feels like it's something that shouldn't be in the game to begin with, so just give me a second and I'll be right back. Alright, I have returned, got myself some iced tea in the meantime, because hey, why not? Now, as you can see, we're in the same battle, but this time my hero actually has an army, so let's go into auto battle, offensive, of course, action. As you can see, the losses are pretty much exactly the same, I believe, but my hero is still alive. So you can see the kind of issues that we are facing right now. Alright. Now, do I want to sell this dervish? No, not yet, because I still want to go and complete this quest, and I will need some extra units to actually fulfill that, to actually do that. So, I will have a Kasai and a dervish ready right there, so this will be 2 units, 3 units, and then I'll have a 4th unit from over here, so I can sell 1 dervish, and I'll go ahead and just do it. So let's do that. As you can see, I'm going to gain 118 deaths from it, which is a fairly decent amount of money, I would say personally. So let's go ahead and just do it. And I'm going to put the remaining dervish inside a city, so I don't have to pay for it. Now I'm only paying for 1 army consisting of 1 hero, which is slightly cheaper than by paying off this dervish, and the difference is exactly 1 dust. Now, the devs have warned me that this will be changed in the future, and what I mean by that, it's actually very simple. The upkeep cost of an individual unit will be its level, not just it being a unit. So for example, in the future, once you have a unit that is, let's say, on level 3, then that level 3 unit is going to cost you 3 upkeep per turn, in addition to the amount of upkeep you have to pay per army. I don't remember how much. Oh, I think, yeah, each army costs you 4 dust additionally. So let's say that you have an army consisting of 2 level 3 units, then you have to pay 6 dust for those units plus extra 4 for the army existing, so you have to pay 10 dust for having the army with 2 level 3 units, which is actually quite a big increasement to dust upkeep of your armies, which I'm actually entirely okay with, because what I've seen in the multiplayer right now is just people spamming armies like there's no tomorrow and doing pretty much nothing else, because you can do it. There is a little limitation as to how big your army is going to be at any given time. You can put it inside your cities to save money that you would normally spend on an army, but it wouldn't be a big deal. Now I feel like this is actually going to be more important, as maintaining a larger army is actually going to be much harder, especially in the later eras when you gain extra dust as well. So I'm really happy with this incoming change, and I cannot wait for it to be actually implemented. Anyway, right now what I want to do is, first things first, level up my hero, because he just gained a level up. So what am I going to give him? I have a choice between lowering the city upkeep, which is nice, but not useful right now, even though at the end, I'm not sure how it stacks, I haven't seen the code for this ability, but it's still going to be a fairly big discount on city upkeep, as you can tell. Now, as for this thing, is just reduced building production cost on city, which is again nice. However, considering that I right now don't have a lot of things to build in my city, and that I will not build a lot of things in the future either, I might not go for either of those 2 abilities. Because, for example, the Behemoth Tamer is especially useful once your city becomes really big and you have to, you know, construct those super expensive borough streets. That is when Behemoth Tamer is actually really useful, because otherwise those districts would cost you a lot. However, I right now have no intention of making those districts, and as such I do not need the Behemoth Tamer. What is after that, however, is really good. It's no Natural Architect, which increases your overall production in a city by a ton, and I want that, because those effects again stack with each other as you level up this ability, and your city becomes just so incredibly productive, it's insane. Additionally, I will gain access to Inspiration Leader, which again is just an amazing ability that every hero can have, and also in the end Code Operator, which is yummy, but not as useful as you may believe it is. So by all accounts I am going to go for the Behemoth Tamer anyway, because while I'm not going to have too much use of it right now, it does give me access to 2 very important abilities right away. It says apply the change like so, and let the hero continue his good work in the city. As you can see, he is giving me a lot of units for and using just 1 population on the industry production, which is great. One day I'll actually be able to create an efficient triangle right here, but that day has not come yet. Alright, so how do I want to manage my units? What would be the best way? I think that like so would be almost there, but I cannot manage it in this 10. I'll have to hurry up and do this the next 10 as soon as possible, because I do not trust those haunts. They will try to attack me, knowing what they like to do. Alright, so there is that. As for my other cities that discontinue their old production stuff, this city is... I could buy out the seed storage, however I am trying to save up dust for a hero, because when you go into marketplace... Oh, somebody bought out the hero, that's annoying. When I looked off camera, there was a different hero on the marketplace. It was a Wild Walker's hero that I really liked. However, there is another Wild Walker's hero who seems to be exactly the same as my hero, but this guy already has a point invested in Indiana Bones. By the way, you may be saying that there's no abilities that this hero has. It's actually displayed back. This hero, once you buy him, he will have abilities. You just don't know what those abilities will be because, well, back city, unfortunately. It does happen, it's okay, however. Now, looking at my resources, there isn't anything that I want to do with them right now. I'm very slowly gaining my... Actually, am I gaining anything? No, I'm not. I don't have any mines whatsoever. How so? Do I really not have any mines? Do I not have the technology? Do I really? I do not, I think. Oh yeah, indeed I do not. I'm just go away. I'm just researching the technology for the mines. Alright, good to know. That kind of made me surprised. Even though I should have known about this for a long time. Not a big deal, because from what I remember, there isn't too much resources on my area anyway. So, go away. I need to... for crying out loud, that's too late. I was trying to, you know, manage my armies, but it's a bit late now. Either way, I have such a big advantage over this hunt. I'm just going to auto-battle this again. Took some damage. It's, however, within the realms of acceptability. And now I can just merge those units. No, why not? Why can I not merge those units? Oh, because there's a cliff right there. That's good to know. So, let's walk like so, and then I should be able to merge my units after I level up the hero as well. So, again, there's nothing I need right there. I am just going to go for... Now, let's think. I can pay less for the army that I have in control, but it's still pennies right now, so it's not too useful. I can increase the attack on units, which is fairly nice, or I can keep them increasing their levels, which I actually kinda like. It's a fairly useful ability, because on max out you gain extra 4 experience on each unit under a hero, which is quite decent, but not for Roving Clans armies that you usually tend to sell very often. So instead I'm going to go for maybe even more happiness, because I actually want to scout around a bit more. So let's go for agile movement right like so. And I still cannot match those units. Why? Oh, because I have an additional dervish in here. I didn't notice that. Alright, let's sell this guy. Bam, you're fired. He only gave me 80 dust, but 80 dust is still a reasonable amount if I may say so myself. So let's go ahead and keep marching forward. Didn't have to sell this dervish. I could have kept him in my reinforcements in case I need him for the battle that is going to happen near those ruins. However, right now I believe I'll be able to take this battle quite easy. Have I not pacified those Seratan? Apparently not. Okay, I will need to do that sooner or later, because it's actually very important that I do so. Meanwhile, however, I am just going to continue making dervish units and Kasai units, because hey, why not? Like so. I unit made each 10 with occasional bag over here on the heart as well. That is entirely okay. And also I continue to focus on food production, because I want my cities to grow as quickly as humanly possible. This city, on the other hand, I think it will be done with storage on the next turn, so I can start focusing on food again, and the city is just happily doing whatever it's doing. In fact, I'm going to focus on food a bit more. And last, by no means least, I think I can hire... No, not yet. I'm almost able to hire a new hero. In fact, once I create this army and sell this guy, I should be able to hire a new hero. So let's go ahead and sell him to the marketplace. As you can see, the price does decrease, unfortunately. But it is okay for us, because we still get quite a bit of dust from selling those units. So let's go ahead and buy out the hero, who should be right here. Let's go ahead and get him. And now I can assign him to a city where I need things to be created. So first things first, I will give him the quest item for extra... Oh wait, I don't have the dust for it. Never mind, I will not give him a single thing. I will, however, increase his abilities, because he should have a skill point, and indeed he does. So let's go for extra Woodland Forager, because it does give him access to some extra other abilities. And put him in Rough Color, which is the city that has the least... Oh. That's the one, I think. It's the city that has the least improvements made in it right now, so I can easily just put this guy right there. And I now can even move my population to focus entirely on food production. So that's good. Let's go ahead and compute the 10, and we are now officially in era number 2, which I believe deserves a celebratory drink of some iced tea. So just give me a second. I do like some homemade iced tea. Very refreshing, very refreshing. Alright, so as you can see, this is, I assume, me, and those are all my subjects bowing to my might. Possibly also my enemies bowing to my mind. Mind? Well, mind as well. Might, mind, same thing really. Either way, I now have access to a bunch of new stuff, and the Empire music is playing again, which is really nice. I miss the old trick command, which would allow me to play it anytime I wanted. I really miss this command. I was asking the devs to put the cheats back in for the public version. They didn't agree yet. They actually didn't respond even to me, which is kind of rude now that you think about it. No, it's fine. I really think that in single player there could be cheats implemented. I mean, why not? It would help people learn the game better and also customize their experience and whatnot. I just don't see why there couldn't be cheats in single player. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Anyway, what do you want to do with tech now that I have access to Era 2? You may be surprised, I'm actually not going to go for Mercenary Corps. Reason being, I don't need to attack the Broken Lords just yet. I do have very nice beginnings of an empire, but what I need to do right now is just jump start myself to some very strong mid-game where I gain a considerable amount of resources and dust on each consecutive turn, which I'm not doing right now, but I can if I work just a little bit harder on developing my cities, which is what I want to do right now. So even though I want to be a warmonger, and I am obviously, I can wait with conquering the enemy empire for a little bit longer. Besides, conquering this Brocolot city will probably be more trouble than it's worth because it is on grassland. I highly doubt that this city will be well developed when I conquer it. Instead, I would rather let it develop and then take it by force, which is a better idea in my mind. So what do I want to do first in terms of research is, in all actuality, this. It's Alchemical Filigree. Now you may be wondering why. That's purely because of the items I can attach to my heroes as governors. I can increase my science or dust gain by a very big amount when I delegate my population to science or dust production. It's actually very significant. In my one playthrough as Roving Clans, I was able to put it on. I was able to get the level 3 titanium and glass steel trinkets, and I put it on a bunch of Broken Lords heroes that I hired as well, like those guys for example, and I put them in cities that I already had a bunch of population in. So what happened is that I was gaining, brace for it, 12 dust per population in each of my city for a very low cost of, what was it, like 8 titanium, no, 8 glass steel per Broken Lords hero. Yeah, it's fairly sick. I was really quickly making an incredible amount of dust, with which I was just every turn buying and selling things on the marketplace. It was beautiful. It also helped because the Broken Lords heroes have this very nifty ability that increases the yield of your mines. So you can see how I was totally overpowered in that playthrough. So yeah, level 3, I think those are Exotic Filigrees. That's the name of the tech. Really powerful, really powerful. And oh, for crying out loud, I didn't re-enable my timer, and I don't know when it stopped. Strange. I don't even remember pausing it. Whatever, that's okay. So, anyway, what do I want to do? Well, I want to brace for combat because it's about to happen. I've been trapped to survive if possible. Yep, the enemy is attacking me. Double Rumblers and a Harmonite. Just saw the standard combination. I don't actually remember if there's ever any different combination, but I think I have seen a different combination once. I cannot promise that I'm saying the truth though, I don't really remember. So anyway, I could sell my armies, but as you can see the cost of this keeps dropping down because I continue to sell them every consecutive turn, and as such the amount of dust I gain from selling them is increasing. So what I'll do right now is just stockpile, you know, stock up all my armies and then sell them in a bulk as much as possible. It will still not be very effective because I can at most sell 4 units at any given time, but once I gain access to the meritocratic promotion ability, I'll be able to sell 6 units at a time, which is a weird way of looking at this technology. I didn't want to have more units in my army, I wanted so that I can sell units at a bulk. Which is a really weird way of saying this, but it is actually a very crucial update anyway for the Roving Clans, because once you combine it with Mercenary Corps, you can have 6 privateers in a single army, which is very important in actuality, because you have to keep in mind, your privateers cannot have any heroes attached to them under any circumstances. So you will be weaker than any army created by a real player, and you also cannot customize those units inside those Mercenary Corps. They are what you buy and you cannot give them any special equipment or whatever. So you need to at least have some numbers advantage, and the meritocratic promotion is essential to your conquests with Marines. Not Marines, mercenaries. Not mercenaries, privateers. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to this battle. I'm actually going to manual this because, you know, it could be quite a tricky battle to fight because the enemy is quite strong right here. This is the worst possible deployment right here, right now, but I guess I'll take it. No, I will not take it. I mean, I guess fine, I'll just redeploy again. It is kind of annoying though, because the AI was smart deploying over here because they're right next to the high ground which I wanted to take. So I'll not take as long thinking as I did last time. Let's first things first move my units around a little bit so I can have a clearer view of how the battlefield looks and think about what I want to do. I have better initiative than almost all of the enemy units, except for this one dervish who's got a very low initiative for some reason. That's the old design, that's why. So what do I want to do? Well, first things first, I want my hero to be a bait as always, and I'm pretty sure my hero has the range of 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, yeah, either way my hero will be attacked the way I see it, but I do want to make sure that my hero is not attacked by the Harmonites who have, I mean, in all actuality my hero will be dead before he is attacked by Harmonites anyway. So what I want to do is to maximize the damage I take and possibly survive one attack from the Rambler. I don't think I will, but you know, it's worth a try. So I'll position my hero over here. I can still attack from this position easily those 2 enemies, so that's fairly okay. Now this Rambler can move to this tower and surrounding towns as well. He cannot move to this tower, however, but he can attack units on those 2 towers. However, what he cannot attack is units beyond those 2 towers. But it actually doesn't matter because I have the better initiative. So what I want to do right now, in all actuality, I just realized I have a better initiative, so I can do a Nasa to charge attack right now. So how exactly do I want to move? Well, it's very simple. I want to be as far away from the enemy as humanly possible, and I want to attack the enemy from afar to deal a maximum amount of damage. I have 5 movement speed. If I move right now, I'll be able to move 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles, and I'll still be able to attack, so that's good. I'll be able to attack the enemy and I'll be able to attack from high ground. I could move to somewhere even further to attack from full charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I can position myself over here and attack this Harmonite from absolute maximum damage. So I like this guy staying right there. This guy will stay right there and still should be able to attack quite nicely. And the last dervish will attack after the Ramblers and have moved. And in fact, you know what? Okay, so here's the thing. I want to force those Ramblers to stay in place and waste their retaliation, because I don't want them to use the sweep ability. So I need to use those 2 dervishes to do just that and waste their retaliation. So first things first, I need to reach the furthermost Ramblers. So I'll use the first dervish and let's see, that's a forest tower. So I can move 1, 2, and I'll be left with 3 movement points. I'll be left with 1 movement point, and I should still be able to move to this forest tower if I have not made any mistakes. However, I am not... I mean, I'm very certain if I stand over here, I should be able to move to this tower and kill this Rambler. But at the same time, I'm fairly certain, while I am fairly certain that I'll be able to do this, I don't necessarily want to take any risks, and while extra damage is nice, I don't want to risk it. So I'll move forward a little bit just to make sure that the AI pathing forestry nonsense will not F me over, and that I'll still be able to attack this guy with maximum damage. So this guy is going to attack this guy. Meanwhile, this dervish is going to be behind him, so I can move him like so, and then attack this guy with maximum damage. So this will be nice. And after all of this happens, I'll move this guy in and attack the Harmonite from a side. Now, I am hoping that this Rambler does not position himself over here, but it is very unlikely because then he... I mean, no, he cannot move because I'll attack him. What am I talking about? So it's all good. And now the Kasai. Kasai, he's just going to attack from maximum range and try to deal as much damage as possible. Probably to the Harmonite, because the Harmonite is the tough little beastie. And actually, no. This guy is going to attack the second Rambler, so that's this Rambler. So this Rambler is the Rambler I want to attack with the Kasai to weaken him before I attack with the Dervish and possibly kill him in an instant. So I'll do just that. And with the combination of this guy and my hero, maybe I'll even be able to kill him outright before this Dervish attacks, which would be nice and would allow my guy to attack the Harmonite with full charge. So yeah, let's set up like so, and then let us set up the targeting. So hero, you hold your ground, but focus fire on the Harmonite. Hero, do you not listen to me? No, he doesn't. Alright, how about you? Okay, you listen to me, so now Hero should listen to me. Alright, now Hero does listen to me. So you hold your ground, but focus fire on the Harmonite. Meanwhile, my first unit that attacks is apparently the Kasai for some reason, but that's okay. You also hold your ground and focus fire on this guy, and Please tell me they didn't move okay, they didn't move. Alright, this guy, however, is going to move to this tower and attack this guy. Now, I can't tell the AI to just go ahead and strike and charge at this Rambler, because there's only one tower from which my unit can attack this Rambler, and that is this tower. And because my unit can reach this tower, according to this overlay, there's no way the AI will not attack the Rambler I want him to attack, unless there's some serious coding error that I have not found out about just yet. Meanwhile, this guy, yes, indeed, I do want him to attack this Rambler, but I want him to take as long of a path as humanly possible, and also maybe have a chance at killing the Harmonite. So the longest possible route I can take is this route. However, right now I'm taking a risk. My Dervish might not attack the Rambler, he might attack the Harmonite. So right now, it is the question, do I want to attack for maximum damage, but risk not attacking the Rambler, or do I want to attack for less damage, but make sure that I do attack the Rambler? The answer for the most part is that I do want to attack the Rambler, because I want to have him stun locked, because I don't know if the damage I'll deal with Kasai will be enough. I mean, that's 33 attack, and that is 41 attack, and this guy has this level and this defense, but I'm not exactly sure how the game calculates damage done, so I'm not daring to risk it for a biscuit, so I'm just going to tell this guy, yo, attack this guy. And if the Rambler goes down before this, then the target should be switched and it will hopefully be the Harmonite. Now, unfortunately, I can guarantee you that this guy would travel on the shortest possible path and move to this tower and attack this guy with minimal charge damage, but it's something I have to deal with, unfortunately. And now for the last Dervish, as I said, he's just going to go over here for maximal damage, and I can go ahead and attack and see how the battle turns out. So, first things first, is the Harmonite going to die? Well, no. Wait, what? I told you to hold your ground! Oh, but I also... Okay, so there's something I didn't think about. I told my rangers to attack the Harmonite, whereas I was saying that I want to attack the Rambler. And I did want to attack the Rambler, but I left them the order to attack the Harmonite. That's my mistake and just my brain acting up. I did explain properly what I wanted to achieve, I just didn't execute the right moves to actually achieve it, so that's a mistake on my part. It is going to cost me a bit, but whatever. At the very least, the damage I'm going to do now is quite significant. 30 damage against a Harmonite is really good, because this guy does have 12 defense, so, you know, just think about it for a second. Either way, I will thankfully at the very least be able to kill the Harmonite and give my Dervish as well the ability to charge the enemy again, which might actually be for the best now that I think about it. Maybe this is the better play than the one I was planning before. Either way, however, I have lost some Dervishes, and look at this! AI actually utilizing charge to its maximum potential and even dealing a finishing blow to this Rambler. Very nice AI, I'm surprised you actually did charge properly. It is unfairly certain, however, randomized, because I have seen the AI with the potential for an amazing charge that didn't charge, so I'm not exactly sure how the AI operates on this ground. Anyway, this battle is done right now, and I should gain enough wine to actually go ahead and do some shenanigans on the marketplace. Question is, do I actually want to do some shenanigans on the marketplace? It is a good question, because let's let this quest go through. Yep, thank you very much. Congratulations, the devils are now pacified, that's good, and there's my wine as well, and as well, yeah, I'm pacified, I have my wine, it's all good. I can assimilate the devils, I would rather not, and things have been researched and pre-production has finished, so now the last thing is my current luxury strategic resource situation. I didn't have anything that I'm mining right now. However, my quest requires me to go to 60 of mined resources. And the thing is, after I fulfill the quest, the next two quests after this are really easy. I believe the next one is produce X amount of science and dust in your cities for 5 turns or something, which is really easy to do. And then the next quest after that is capture an enemy city, which is super easy, as I have demonstrated in the past. Actually, I haven't shown you the priorities just yet. Either way, I will show you, it's really easy to achieve. So, this is a very tough quest. After that, we have a bunch of very easy quests. So, I want to finish that. Can I do it by buying out the things on the marketplace? As you can see, I cannot. There's only 24 glass steel on the marketplace. I need to start gathering it as soon as possible. In fact, I should be gathering it, shouldn't I? I do have this mine right there that is supposed to be giving me glass steel. Is it though? I mean, I don't know. It should be. But it feels like I have had 20 glass steel for forever. Maybe it's just me being paranoid. Either way, so I'm getting glass steel and I can't wait until I have enough to buy all the glass steel on the marketplace and fulfill the quest, and then I will be able to sell it all, which I might do. I might also keep it. It depends, really, depending on what the broken lords are going to use. Meanwhile, the other resource that I feel like I'll possibly be able to use to get to 60 stockpile is wine, but there's only 5 of it in the marketplace, so I am having some problems. And as I'm looking at this map, there is not a lot of luxuries around. I mean, there's some gold I saw right there, there are some diamonds right here, and more diamonds here, but I do not have any diamonds stockpiled thus far, so it is going to be a very difficult quest to fulfill, unless I fulfill more manufacturing quests, which is what I'll have to do. Either way, right now, I can just go ahead and deal with those certain, sell some stuff and do some more planning of camera, but this video, guys, is actually fairly long already. Not a lot of things done, but I'm still kind of satisfied with what we did. We have kind of moved forward, and next video in particular we should do a lot of things. I mean, right now, as you can see, population rate is already up to 5, there's 6, 5, that's just 2, but we're getting to a place where we can actually start, you know, being a more powerful and respectable empire. Either way, right now it was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mixpire. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you online.